Picture this. It's a quiet Swiss village in 1905. A farmer named Jean Lanfrey, after consuming a cocktail of alcohol, commits a horrific crime. But instead of blaming his actions on his clear overindulgence in various spirits, the world points its finger at one drink in particular, absinthe. What was it about this green elixir that made it the scapegoat for such madness? Was absinthe really the devil in a bottle, or was something else brewing behind the scenes? Stick around as we unravel the mystery of absinthe, explore its rise and fall, and uncover how the wine industry might have played a sneaky role in its prohibition. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more wild tales from history. This is Stranger History, where we dive deep into the bizarre and fascinating corners of the past. Now let's get to it. Absinthe, a potent green spirit, has origins tracing back to ancient Egypt, where wormwood, a key ingredient, was used medicinally. However, the drink we recognize today emerged in the late 18th century in Switzerland. It was initially marketed as a medicinal elixir, believed to cure various ailments. The concoction typically includes wormwood, anise, fennel, and other herbs, giving it a distinct, complex flavor profile. The drink's association with artists and bohemians during the 19th century significantly boosted its mystique. Famous figures like Vincent van Gogh, Edgar Allan Poe, and Oscar Wilde were known absinthe enthusiasts, often crediting the spirit with enhancing their creativity. This period, known as the Belle Époque, saw absinthe flourishing in Parisian cafes, becoming a symbol of artistic rebellion and inspiration. Now let's get back to our friend Jean Lanfrey. On August 28, 1905, this Swiss farmer, after an impressive binge that included cognac, brandy, wine, and yes, absinthe, committed the unthinkable. He murdered his wife and children in a gruesome incident that shocked the world. The media, never ones to miss a sensational story, quickly pinned the blame on absinthe. Despite Lanfrey having consumed a veritable cocktail of alcoholic beverages throughout the day, absinthe was singled out as the villain. Why? Because it's green, mysterious, and let's face it, had a reputation that made it an easy target. The press coverage was relentless, portraying absinthe as a dangerous, mind-altering substance that drove people to madness and violence. This narrative conveniently ignored the broader context of Lanfrey's alcoholism and the social issues of the time. The Lanfrey murders became a rallying point for those advocating for the prohibition of absinthe. Temperance movements and concerned citizens used this case to fuel their campaigns, highlighting absinthe as a societal menace. This event significantly impacted public perception, setting the stage for legislative actions against the spirit. Poor absinthe, always taking the blame. While the Lanfrey murders provided a convenient moral panic, another significant factor in the push to ban absinthe was the wine industry. During the late 19th century, the wine industry was struggling due to the phylloxera epidemic, a disease that devastated vineyards across Europe. As a result, absinthe, with its growing popularity, became a direct competitor to wine. The wine industry, seeking to reclaim its market share, launched a concerted effort to vilify absinthe. They funded scientific studies and propaganda campaigns highlighting the supposed dangers of thujona, a compound found in wormwood, which was alleged to cause hallucinations and insanity. Many of these studies were flawed or exaggerated, but they succeeded in creating widespread fear and distrust of absinthe. Prominent figures in the wine industry lobbied for stricter regulations and outright bans on absinthe, positioning themselves as protectors of public health. This economic rivalry was a driving force behind the growing anti-absinthe sentiment. By framing absinthe as a public health crisis, the wine industry managed to shift consumer preferences back to wine, aiding in its recovery from the phylloxera devastation. Talk about sneaky marketing tactics. So how much absinthe would you actually have to drink to hallucinate? Modern studies show that the thujoni content in absinthe is way lower than originally thought. To experience any hallucinogenic effects, you'd have to drink an impossible amount of absinthe, more than your liver could handle before the thujone could do its work. So, unless you're trying to set a world record for liver damage, you're safe from seeing green fairies. The combined efforts of temperance movements, sensational media, and the wine industry's lobbying led to a wave of legislative actions against absinthe. In 1907, Switzerland held a referendum where voters decided in favor of banning absinthe. This was followed by a series of bans across Europe, with France prohibiting the spirit in 1915. The United States also joined the movement, banning absinthe in 1912. These bans were often framed as necessary public health measures, but the underlying economic motivations were evident. The prohibition of absinthe marked the end of an era for the Green Fairy, forcing it into the shadows of the black market. Absinthe went from the belle of the ball to the forbidden fruit practically overnight. Despite its prohibition, absinthe never completely disappeared. It continued to be produced and consumed illegally, maintaining its allure and mystique. The ban also contributed to the mythology surrounding absinthe, cementing its reputation as a forbidden and dangerous substance. In the late 20th century, interest in absinthe began to resurface. Researchers debunked many of the myths surrounding Thujone, and modern distillation techniques allowed for the production of absinthe that met legal standards. In the 1990s and early 2000s, countries started lifting bans, allowing absinthe to be legally produced and sold again. Today, absinthe is enjoying a renaissance. It is appreciated for its complex flavors and rich history, often featured in upscale bars and specialty shops. The revival has also sparked renewed interest in the cultural and artistic heritage of the Belle Epoque, bringing the Green Fairy back into the limelight. Cheers to that. The story of absinthe is a compelling blend of art, science, politics, and economics. From its early days as a medicinal tonic to its role as a muse for artists, and finally to its prohibition driven by economic rivalry and moral panic, absinthe's history is as complex as the drink itself. Jean Lanfray's tragic actions and the ensuing media frenzy played a pivotal role in its downfall, but the influence of the wine industry was equally significant in shaping public perception and policy. Today, absinthe stands as a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown and the misunderstood. Its revival in recent decades serves as a reminder that history often comes full circle, and what was once vilified can be celebrated anew. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of absinthe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Stranger History for more fascinating stories from the past. Until next time, remember to drink responsibly and savor the rich tapestry of history in every glass. Cheers.